then let's start to think about whether or not you have a block and a strap. So a strap can be used like from, I always say a shoelace, but you could use like your robe. Your robe was a really good suggestion that I got was to use your robe belt, and that would work lovely in lieu of a strap. Okay, so anything, a towel will actually work, but you just kind of want it long enough that it would wrap around the ball of the foot and you could still hold on to it. And then a block is helpful when we do like certain poses where we try to straighten out our leg. And if you can't reach the floor to begin with, then straightening out the leg seems like it could be also very daunting. So a block is used to lift the ground up so that you don't have to reach so far and maybe put the weight into your back or some of these other areas. It doesn't make the pose easier for you per se. It makes it correct. And there's a big difference. So it's not going to, you're not going to get any less benefits from using these props. In fact, you oftentimes get more. So I just want to remind you that we all work in layers when it comes to yoga. So as you find your body kind of advancing, if you will, and going deeper, you're still in the same class with your same friends, and everybody can be there because we can go at our own pace. And then we don't have to feel bad about it because we really ask that the ego's not part of your practice. And that also is a work in progress. You're not going to show up and be like, ooh, got no ego, I'm just going to listen to my body. You may, and that's awesome. I just haven't met that person yet. I mean, we show up and we've got all these preconceived notions on what we not only are thinking yoga should be, but what we think we should be. You know, we have a lot of expectations as far as being always good enough. And yoga is a time where we just put all that aside. And you say, let's just be real. That's it. And when we learn to start to be real, then some of the complications in your life start moving to the surface and they start asking you to be worked out. And they no longer want to remain as complications in your life. And sometimes we let them there because we think it's easier just to keep riding that same wave. When in reality, it's more work to do that in the long run. So yoga allows us to stop what we're doing in our life, whatever we think we need to be in our minds, all of it. And it says, can you be here? Right here. Because if you can learn how to be right here, then you're going to learn everything else that you're striving for. And I leave that very broad because we all are in different places in our life dealing with different things. Maybe you've got small children in your house. And those of you that don't and had them, you're like, oh, yeah, that's a completely different ball of wax when you're dealing with. Imagine being trapped in there with your small children. You've already had them, grow up and move on. And for people that don't have children, how could you even comprehend what it's like to parent? I say, if you want to know what it's like to parent, let me drop my kids off at your house. I'll pick them up next month. And that's what it's like to parent, because you don't really know in hours here, hours there, or what you were told. It's something that you have to be thrown into the fire. So allow yourself to be in yoga today. I'm going to start us out with a really cool reading. It's like, I'll just read it and you'll hear. The universe has picked this for us. I'll leave the words to represent themselves. This is from the Book of Awakening. The author is Mark Nepo, N-E-P-O. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put you on your backs. So as you go to your backs, oh my gosh, I just lost my spot for what I wanted to read. Oh, there it is. I was like, oh my God. Okay, so you're going to fall to your backs, and we're going to do a pose that's called Supta Baddha Konasana. Many of you already know it, so just for those of you that are still learning all this stuff. Then feet are on the floor, knees are bent comfortably. The feet come together and the knees open out. Then you're just going to lay back. The right hand's going to go at the center of the chest, and the left hand's going to go just below the belly button. And that's going to line up with our heart chakra, Anahata, and our identity, if you will, our egos and our kind of everything that makes us us is Svadhisthana. Below it is Muladhara, which is more grounding and survival, instinctual, and then it kind of bridges up into more cultivating our relationships and our desires and our dreams and what we aspire to be. And then we kind of get trapped in there because also in there is all the bells and the whistles and the shiny things of what's going on in the real world. And then we start to get distracted. And then we start to think that our happiness and our satiation lies in acquiring things and obtaining things. And then pretty soon we have to try now to keep these things safe. I don't want you to steal my stuff, and I've got to covet my relationships. And we keep this as a very closed off, layer. And then that's why I say we kind of get trapped here, because we stop kind of pursuing things that are above and beyond just our immediate satisfaction and of this, of the bells and whistles of this world. So the next chakra up is one that's in the belly. It's just below the heart chakra, and that one's yellow like the sun. So it's the power that gets us moving into doing something more, which bridges us into compassion. So as you're here with your hands on your body, your chin is down, please close your eyes and let's take a deep breath in through the nose. When you breathe in through the nose, fill it up from the very bottom of your belly, kind of all the way through your lungs, and then feel it moving through the throat as you top it off at your throat. Hold on to the breath, and you do this as long as you can. If you've already screwed it up, you're already working on the second breath, it's fine. Then you exhale as slowly as you can through the nose, but you empty from the top to the bottom, like you're being turned over and dumped out. And then you begin that process again. And this time when you fill it up, you're going to find it's not so alarming and it's easier to go slow. And then when you get to the top, it's also much easier to hold that breath. And you can hold it for a lot longer. So quality breath is like quality food. If you're eating McDonald's, you're going to need to eat a lot because there's not a lot of nutrients in there and you're going to need to find it. If you're eating superfoods, goji berries, spirulina, and a lot of nutrient dense foods, then your body is going to get satiated a lot sooner. Its cravings change and you don't eat food as often. So it's the same concept. We just want to bring in a quality. From the Book of Awakening. We share the same river. I'll try not to cry. The river's now in me. I was traveling in South Africa and I felt very tender one morning. My friend Kim came upon me as I was weeping. She asked if I was okay. I told her it was only the waters of life splashing off my shore. Later that day, I found her near tears and I checked in with her. She said, the river's now in me. We looked into each other and we realized we share the same river. It flows beneath us and through us, from one dry heart to the next. We share the same river. It makes the earth one living thing. The whole of life has a power to soften and open us against our will, to irrigate our spirits, and in those moments, we discover the tears. And those tears are the water from within. And they are a common blood, mysterious and all. We may speak different languages. We may live different lives. But when that deep water swells to the surface, it pulls us to each other. We share the same river. And where it enters, we lose our stubbornness, the way fists wear open when they're held under in the stream of love. A deep breath. Feel it cleanse you. And then now take one more breath. You can blink your eyes open if you'd like. You can leave them closed if you'd like. Let's make sure that our equipment that we're using is nearby if you have one, your strap. And then just keep it by. And then from here, take your fingers, slide them off your body. And then slide them up to the back of your head. And then just cradle up your head into your fingertips and into your hands, supporting the head. Push your feet together and lift the feet off the floor. And then feel that low spine get grounded. So I talk about this a lot. Yoga can't exist unless we're grounded. A flower is not going to grow unless it's rooted. So let's find the grounding in each pose and let the head fall back, and we find the release. That's our yin and our yang, effort to surrender, equal amounts. Now, in the next breath, just lift up. Doesn't need to be tall. Just see where you go. And on the inhale breath, let's lower down to the floor. Good. Now let's move with our breath, as the idea behind yoga is to synchronize movement and breath, placing us very, very much in the process of what's happening in this moment. And inhale, breath slowly come down. Exhale, breath slowly come up and squeeze. Good. Now notice if you have the weight of the head back into your hands, or if you can put some more weight back there. I'm just going to do a couple more. Your knees might not be really open. You might not be lifting super tall. That's not as important, really. What's more important is you're just squeezing the belly when you come up. Maybe hold this next one and pull the elbows and the knees in. From here, take the right leg, extend it long, and bring your right elbow over to the left knee. Now engage the right thigh as you squeeze the belly hollow. And then slowly switch to the other leg, simply bringing the left elbow in front of the right knee. And then squeezing the belly also as hard as you can as you focus here. Now take a breath in, and as we exhale, we'll bring the elbow to the knee. Squeeze. Inhale, breath. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, center, and exhale, squeeze. So we're not really pausing in the center. That's a different technique. We're just moving slowly. And what you're feeling is like you're almost pedaling a bike underwater. It doesn't move very quickly, but the water's a little thicker than water. It's forcing you to kind of move through it. A little bit more pressure now. Continue to feel that moving through your body. Keep pushing. Good, you've got about 3 more as you're moving through your squeezes. And then on the next, or I should say the final one, so you've completed 2 more rounds. Let's go back to the center and simply grab the knees. And as you grab your knees, lower your head to the mat, bring your chin down. Open the knees wide and begin to draw your lower spine into the floor. Good. Now from here, we're going to use a strap if you have it, your robe, belt, a belt. Duh, I didn't think of that. A belt, a shoelace, or a boot strap, whatever. We're going to take it around the ball of the right foot. And then from here, straighten the left leg out if you can as we move through layers, and feel free to stop at any of these layers that are appropriate. From here, line up your leg over your hip. So I've got hip, knee, ankle. Then I'm simply pulling down. I'm not pulling towards my face. I'm drawing straight down into the floor. Try to imagine where the jean pocket would sit on your right butt cheek, and try to get the entire pocket of the jeans to push down into the floor. Use the strap to help. We're going to stretch the glute, the piriformis, as it's going to be helpful to help us move into a couple of the poses today. As you're here, are you leaning to the right? Is your left leg heavy? If not, you can put some more weight into it and get it grounded. If you start drifting off in your mind, use a bit more pressure and pull straight down into the arch of the foot or the ball of the foot, whichever foot. Now move your strap into one hand, your left hand, and bring your right arm out. I'm going to move my foot just about 1.5 inches to the left, and then try to push the pocket back down to the floor to get more of a stretch along the piriformis portion of the glute, as well as the glute itself. 3 more breaths now as you push your right jean pocket down into the floor. Continue to keep your right shoulder grounded and stay calm. Now from here, you're going to see if you can simply breathe out and then bend the knee, grab the knee and pull it into your right armpit, relax the foot. Now take that little squeeze into the hip, stay calm. We're going to open up the glute and the hip now together. Keep this knee in, set the left foot onto the floor, and then extend your right leg up, cross it over the left ankle, push the right knee away for figure 4, and maybe lift the leg up. And from here, the right knee will continue to push away. You can start by grabbing the hamstring to layer on, grab the shin bone to layer on. You can push the knee away with the right elbow to layer on. The feet are now relaxed. The shoulders are relaxed. The chin is at the chest, and the spine is trying to ground. 3, 2. When we release, bring your knees together. And as the knees come together, draw them into the heart. Just do a couple little tight circles here. Oh, now when your knees come back together, pause. Bring your hands behind your head, lift up, and bring the left elbow to the right knee. And lift that right leg up, squeeze the belly and hold for 3. Hold for 2. Now switch to the other side. And now squeeze. Engage the legs, especially that straight one. You can push through the toe now to get some strength in it. Now let's slowly alternate. We're going to exhale when we bring the elbow to the knee. Inhale as you're transitioning through the center. And keep doing that now, nice and smooth. Continue to squeeze the belly, making that the most important part of this. The contraction of the core muscles as they relate to those bandha muscles, and they're attached very deeply in there. So continue to take those deep breaths as you're squeezing. They might be going a little bit quicker than the breath. Slow down. You've only got 2 more, so complete each side. And then when you get back over to your right elbow at the left knee, pause. Bring them back as you bring the leg, hands up over your head, grab the knee, and draw the knee into the armpit. That's what happens when you don't stay present. I'm over there shifting the volumes. All right, now draw your elbows in, draw your chin down, relax the feet, and just see if you can get that little squeeze to that hip. And it's that compression. Then when we open it up, we'll go into the glute piriformis, so you can kind of feel that. Oh, I did forget what I was doing. Bring your strap around your left foot and then kick it to the sky. All right, so it would help if we actually got into the glute piriformis here first. So let's get the strap around the ball of the left foot. It doesn't need to be too even here. I just need it to be able to grab it so that I can pull down. This is really more likened to someone like a child coming up onto your foot so you can play airplane. You're really supporting it with your leg, not pulling it into your face. So I'm straight over again, pulling straight down. Think about your jean pocket on your left butt cheek and try to get the jean pocket to push down into the floor. Then the right knee will push forward, or left knee. Your knee may not straighten out. Okay, it could be bending. I see this a lot, especially when people's piriformis is tight. It could be shaking like this, controlling. You're not broken, maybe a little bit, but we can fix you. This is really typical. It's the tendons, it's the ligaments too. You got connective tissue in there. They're not just going to open magically because you're stuck at home wanting to do yoga now. They're going to magically open when you relax. So when you finally just kind of go, whatever, I give up, I give in. And when you give in, the universe tends to give you what you need. So find your way into your breath. Stay with the breath that's deep. And remember, we do share the same river. So most of these asanas looked very different on me when I started yoga. I certainly am not at the end of my yoga practice, so they're going to continue to evolve and change. I was in a car accident in August, and it changed how most of my postures looked. And, my ego's like, well, you know how to do this, or I can show you how to do this where it looks more appropriate. And yet my body said, but you shouldn't. And that's, you have to listen to it. Maybe, it's not moving and looking like what you're seeing other people do. Or maybe your body's really flexible and you just want to back out of it and work on more engagement. As you take the strap now into your left hand, we're going to bring, the right hand, you're going to bring your left arm out. Now, once again, I'm only over the right hip. I haven't gone very far to the right. I'm not way over here. You don't really need it. It's just really about 1.5 inches. Then you try to push the hip pocket back down to the floor, that jean pocket of that glute. And just continue to let the strap help you get that jean pocket down. That little muscle, or not little, the muscle it's grabbing around the outside of the glute. It's tight in there. But you don't really know about it. You don't walk around with a sore kind of outer glute. It just kind of pulls up on the hamstrings, the hips, and the back. And as we take it maybe just a little bit more down to the earth with the strap, then we'll slowly move to the center where we bend the knee. And now you're going to release the strap and grab the knee and pull it back to the armpit. Once the elbows are in, you should have quite a bit of space to work with, at least more than you normally have as the knee pulls into that armpit. Then let the chin lower so the back of your neck is really flat to the floor. Draw your elbows in nice and tight. From here, we'll take a few deep breaths and just find our way. Now drag your right leg up and set the foot onto the floor. Lift the left leg up and then cross the ankle to the knee as you push the knee away for figure four, getting up into the hip joint. You can stay there, lift the knee up, flex the toes back. Start by grabbing the hamstring first and bringing the shin down. Then maybe reaching around to grab the shin bone with your chin down. And now try to flatten the back, pushing your left knee away. This is where we let go of that which no longer serves. So my feet are all freaked out here, so I've got to let them go. I've got to relax the shoulders. They're not needed here. What's needed is the fingertips strengthen the biceps. The tailbone needs to push down into the mat more. Then the chin down to the chest to lengthen the neck and back to the breath. If you can find that breath, you always want to take a good 5 breaths, at least in any pose if possible, longer sometimes. And then from there, we'll take our last one as we gently release. Release the foot to the floor. Release your knees to your heart. I want to circle them one more time, please. So when we move right out of a pose, there's oftentimes energy that's there, and we want to direct that energy. So just a couple little circles. Your energy body is big. It's big time. You can learn to manipulate and work with the energies as primary treatment. You'll notice that with Reiki energy healers, they do that. There's a show called Goop that's on, I believe it's on Netflix, but it's called Goop. We're gonna rock and roll up to a seat. Gwyneth Paltrow's show, Goop, she's got the Goop Factory. And it's funny because what they do is they investigate all of these different homeopathic and approaches, the alternative medicine. And in one of the episodes, which I love because I like to investigate also these same things, try them on, see if they work, are they true in my opinion. And one of them was a former chiropractor, actually was a chiropractor, and he then specialized just in working with the energy body. And this man could put his hands on you, without, not on you, they weren't touching you, on the energy aura of your body, and he'd move your body would move with it. So he was learning how to tap into it. So that's what I mean, this power of the energy body is so very real, but we dismiss it because we can't see it. And so in my yoga practice, I try to close the eyes, and I ask you to try to dim or close your eyes whenever you can to see if you can start to tap in more towards what's happening on a deeper layer below the surface. All right, friends, we're going into a tabletop next. Oh, excuse me, yeah, just a tabletop. So cross your ankles and then move your hands and knees onto the floor. You should be in a table. I'm gonna move my strap up just out of the way so that makes sure that you guys can see me. From here, we're gonna lower down onto our belly. And when you get down onto your belly, you're on your entire mat or your towel or however you have it set up. And then we're gonna bring the chest down with our feet wide. And the feet can be pretty wide because it gives you a little bit of mid-raise. I've done this the other day, so maybe you did this with me before another day, but it's called prone reverse fly. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into the upper back muscles before moving on. To do it, we're working with our body weight. The mistake on this one would be to lift and pull my neck. Okay, this is bad. I don't want to move my neck at all. In fact, I don't want it to move. I want to keep it neutral. So I'm going to bring my elbow up off the mat and see if I can bring my arms into a goalpost where my elbow is lined up with the shoulder. Then the neck is neutral. When I lift, I'm going to squeeze my bottom, push the pubic bone and feet into the floor, and then just lift up. It might not be very much. It gets better as you move on. Inhale, come down as one unit. And then we're exhaling as we lift on this one. So this is more of a fitness breath because I want you to really exert and squeeze when you come up. Inhale, come down. And then exhale, come up and squeeze. So you're squeezing the two big bones on your belly. In fitness, oftentimes they say, imagine like a pencil in between the scapula here. So right there. And then you're squeezing the pencil and then lowering back down. When you come up, squeeze the pencil and then lower back down. Keep your chin neutral. Your nose will likely hit the floor and then come back down. Let's do that. 5 more. Squeeze and lower. Slow things down, please. Let's come up. 4. Squeeze and then lower. Come down. Good. 3. Squeeze. Good. And come down lower. 2 more. Squeeze. Come down and lower. And last one, we're going to hold it. Come up now. Squeeze. 5, stay here. 4, stay here. Squeeze. 3, stay here. Feet harder. Pubic bone harder. 1, come down. Hands to the mat. Push up to table. Bring your hands under your shoulders, knees under the hips. Nicely done. Cat pose now. Suck in the belly, move your chin to your chest, round your back. So now we're in the scapula there. You can feel it rounding. The muscles that web those two big bones together, this way, rhomboids. The ones that go this way and into our neck, traps, trapezius. So we're going to feel that length. Bring your chin all the way to your chest to stretch the back of the neck. Suck in the belly and pull your belly under your ribs to move into Uddiyana Bandha. And as you move into that more belly space of those core muscles, you'll feel it pulling in tight. Stay here now and breathe for 3 breaths. Maybe go up to spider fingers even if you can. And last, your chin is all the way through with your neck completely round. Good. Let's take another deep breath in and out here, please. Then when we release our palms to the mat, drag them back to the knees. Push your tail up so the sits bones open. Roll the shoulders back and then push the heart forward as we move to cow. So cow has a very long kind of slopey back before it comes up, and that's exactly what you're thinking. So as I drag my palms towards the knees will push to the palms. Now push the chest or the heart forward, and instead of looking up, you don't need to look anywhere. Just feel your neck get longer, almost like a turtle, bringing the head out of the shell. Now look to your left, look to your right. My neck cracked, I don't know if you heard me. And then come back into your cat pose. Good. Move with our breath for 3 cycles. Now inhale, cow, lift your head and tail. Exhale, cat, push it away. Now, don't really need to lift the head anymore. You can just kind of move the heart forward. Maybe don't even bend the back really too much here with the neck. It's all about you moving through the core and the back. There we go. 1 more cycle. Now, when you get to the next one, we're going to release into a neutral spine, taking the right leg back and the left arm out. Exhale, breath, elbow to the knee. And we just do a few of these now as it seems like it's just advancing into the next movement. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, glide, reach, go long. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach, glide, go long. Let's do that again. Elbow to the knee. Inhale, reach, hold here. Now bring your left hand out. Let's draw the knee into the nose. Maybe even go into some spider fingers if you can, get more space, and then drag that leg through. You may have to help it out. Once the leg's through, walk the left knee back an inch or 2 and press back into half splits. I cannot express to you how important this pose is, half splits. So your hip is over your left knee, your right leg is fairly straight, although it could be bent, and you're trying to get it to straighten without too much fuss. So I don't want you to force your way in there. I want you to find your way in there nice and easy. And then roll your right hip to the back of your mat. Push your left hip forward and soften the elbows as you bring your belly to your thighs. We'll be doing a pose called pyramid today, and it's really reminiscent of this one here as the way it's set up. The difference primarily is you have to balance and then we're going to twist. So as you're here, just apply a bit more pressure to the hamstring, maybe take another couple deep breaths. The very next pose is pyramid, and it's kind of an extension of this. As you bend your right knee, you want to drag your back foot up. And all I'm going to do is flip my foot over and push the heel down. Find your right heel. And as you find it, draw a straight line back with your eyes to your left heel. They are on the exact same line. The only difference is the left toes are turned slightly to the left. Bend the right knee, push the right hip away and back, just like we did earlier, and the left hip down and forward. If your left heel is off the floor, step up until it's down. If your belly can't get to your thigh, try inching the left leg back. Now, once you're here, your fingertips or palms are framing the foot and elbows are in. You're going to take a moment to bring the belly to the thigh, the chest to the knee, and the forehead to the shin. From there, if you can advance, the idea is can I put more weight into my front leg and out of my hands until one day I don't need them. So until that happens, you're going to have to use your hands. Now from here, just let your belly slide down to your thigh, bring your chest to your knee in a neutral neck. We're here for 3 more breaths. Take your next deep breath in and out, and then bend the right knee as you step your left leg back. When you get there, you should be in high push-up again with your gaze now up. So we're in plank. Press the ground away. Come up to your tiptoes if you can, right on those toes. Knees are strong, gaze up. Take a breath in, and on 5 count, pull your elbows in and lower to your belly. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Open up the feet, elbows all the way up to the shoulder. Lift the elbows up and come off the ground. Inhale, come down, neutral neck. Exhale, come up. Squeeze. Here we go. Inhale. And then I'm going to exhale and squeeze. Keep it on your own is fine. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tabletop, hands to the mat, push up. Pull your knees up under the hips until you're lined up. Now from here, exhale to cat. Inhale, cow, heart and tail. Exhale, cat, press it away. Now let's move with your own breath. When you release to a neutral spine, take the left leg back, right arm out, and now move with your elbow to knee. Bring your hand to the mat. Draw the knee. Learn how to get through. Move the right knee back. Half splits. You may have to help that leg out. You might still be getting there. We share the same. I'll be here waiting for you, and next time you'll be there waiting for me. So now push the left hip away from you. You might have to bend the knee a little bit to get it to cooperate, and then let the belly just rest into the thigh. Now, as you find your way in, let's move to our breath. It's probably a good idea to close your eyes, especially ladies, since you haven't probably been able to get a pedicure. And you probably won't get one anytime soon. So let's just be. Isn't life funny? It's showing you what's important. Not that pedicures are important. My point is it's showing you what it is. Now, as you take your last few breaths, think about being in this position in different places. Think about how is my left hamstring, my left glute, my hip, how is that all feeling here? I'm gonna do the exact same pose, but with the back leg a little different. So bend the knee, I'm gonna drag my foot up and just flip it over. The heel should be flat, okay? If it's not, if it's off the floor, then I went back too far. I just gotta step up and it'll drop down. If I didn't go back far enough, I'm way out in front of my foot. My belly is too. So I want my hands back lined up with the foot, and I can just inch that foot back until the heel drops. Bend the left knee so that that left hip will push back and away, and the right hip will come down. Then bring the belly towards the thigh. Remember, using spider fingers, flat palms, whatever works for you here. Your left hamstring is going to have to tell you where that is. As the hands come in, the hands will eventually get lighter. Usually what happens for me in this pose is I forget about my back leg. So it doesn't feel like it's doing that much, and yet it's so important. You got to engage that thigh and hold on to it, because that's what's going to help you get light in your fingers, even if your leg's not even all the way straight. It's that back thigh. And as you squeeze them together, you find equilibrium. The shoulders are soft, the belly's resting onto the thigh. This side's a little bit different for me, or a lot of it different. So you'll find your way in to your pose that matches your body and what you're feeling. And then as you're here, maybe just take another 3 breaths. Let's close your eyes. See if you can not use your sight here for 2 breaths. Letting your body just melt towards the front. On your next breath, slide your right leg all the way back. Step back to high push-up. We should be back here together now on the tips of toes and on the palms. Gaze up, but this time now we lower halfway down. If you cannot stay above your elbows, just slightly drop your knees or lower to your belly. Inhale, lift into upward facing dog. If you're on the ground, it's cobra. To come to down dog, lift your knees up and everybody pull back. You use your core if you're an upward facing dog. And as we find our way into downward facing dog, try to draw the heels towards the earth and push your tail up as high as you'll go. Then try to push the heels down again. Now the hip bones back to the thighs. The fingers spread wide, the shoulders melt down. You have 3 more deep breaths here. Inhale, lift your right leg up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, place the foot between your hands. You may have to help it out. Virabhadrasana 1. Drop the heel, just like we did earlier, but now you have a wider stance. Open up the arms wide and bring them up to frame your face. So Warrior 1 is the name of the warrior. My hair's caught in this thing. Let's take it out. The name of the warrior is Virabhadra, and it's Virabhadra's asana. It's a pose. Asana means pose. So Virabhadra was a great warrior. Lord Shiva had summoned Virabhadra to come up to seek revenge for the death of his wife. And he was just overcome with grief and fury. And so the answer to this grief and fury was to match it with grief and fury. And so learning upon the death of his wife or his bride, it was ironically at the hands of her father, who, according to the legend, didn't even know that it was her that had passed. He had really shunned Shiva and his daughter for marrying him. She didn't agree with him. She thought he was a hippie, basically. He was too progressive. And so her death, made Shiva very, very mad. And so he made Virabhadra. And he came out of the ground, out of the earth, holding a sword. And when he came up, he was in this position. And he was holding it. So imagine you're holding a sword. Better for us, because I don't know the last time you held a sword. I never held a sword. But if I held a small child, I think it's the same. So take a small child around the hips in your imaginary mind and push that child over your head. How would you bring him up? You'd lunge into your leg. And as soon as you understand that, Virabhadrasana 1 makes sense. Look over your right shoulder and bring your left ribs forward before you pass out. Good. Now reach the fingers forward and now try to frame your shoulders a bit more towards your right leg. And then let the arms just fall back. When they do, you're going to find a nice long lunge. If you get in trouble in your back leg, just bring your back heel up into a regular lunge. But if you can keep it down, we'll keep it down in Virabhadra. Now inhale, circle up into Virabhadrasana 1. And then exhale into airplane arms. Push it up. Can you do that 3 more times with me? Let's try it. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, press it away. 2 more. Inhale, come up. Exhale, push it away. 1 more time. Inhale, come up. This time, hands to the floor. Back heel lifts to plank, look up. Elbows in, low plank, low push up to cobra. Inhale, lift. So if you're on the ground, it's cobra, it's a baby lift. If you're from the midline, knees up, it's upward facing dog. Exhale breath is downward facing dog as you press back to the sky. Let's go back and take about 3 to 4 breaths here. Feel the fingers spread wide, feel the tail lift up, feel the heart melt down. So Virabhadra came out of the earth with a sword, and that was position 1. And then he went into position 2. He took the sword out of his hand, or to both hands, and he put them into one hand. And he was looking over, which made Virabhadrasana 2. So we'll go into that one next. He saw where he was going. So he was to do a specific job, kill a bunch of people. He saw where he was going with his sword. And then Virabhadrasana 3 was him flying into it. So we'll see how that goes. I won't know if I get to the whole story on it, but it's fascinating. Let's take 1 more breath here. Mind you, these are stories like the Bible. The sea turned red of blood. Maybe there was a lot of blood in the water. I don't know if the whole thing turned red, but I think the idea behind these stories, and again, I'm not arguing the Bible, is more that there were grand stories designed for you to remember to pass them on, so they could pass on over the ages. Now, inhale, breath, lift your left leg to the sky. And as you feel it come up, frame your hips. On the exhale, drag it through and place it between your hands into low lunge. Spin the right heel down. It should line up with your front heel. Bend the front knee and circle up. Virabhadrasana 1, the great warrior. So I talked about this for a long time. So I'm going to try to break this down for you so that we can get there in the same amount of time without you dying or getting too bored. Let's bring the hands down to our hips first. You'll notice your hips are not framing forward likely. So maybe take your left hand and pull the left hip back and take your right hand and push the right hip forward. You'll feel your right knee soften a little bit, and that is okay. You can even push that heel back a little bit to help get that right hip in. Now lunge into the knee, bring your arms slowly up over your head. Interlace all 10 fingers together and release the 2 that you point with like you're holding that sword. And it's Virabhadrasana 1 with steeple arms. As you sink into the knee, pull your head back and look over the left shoulder. By doing that, it will feel like you can push your right side forward a bit more as you're looking back to the corner behind you. Take another breath in now, and as you exhale, bring your fingers forward. Try to frame your shoulders more evenly. Try to bring the right hip down and forward. Now let the arms just fall back. As they pull back, lengthen the neck and bring the right hip down. Squeeze the knees together, return back to breath. On the next inhale, push through the left foot, circle up. Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, breath to airplane arms. Let's move with it now. Inhale, circle up. And exhale, push it away. Let's do that 2 more times now. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Now bring the arms up and inhale. As you exhale though, frame the foot. Bring your back heel up. Look up and step back to plank. We will add on there next time. Elbows in, low push-up. Inhale, breath to upward facing dog. Exhale, breath to downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths here, please. We'll move on. At the bottom of the exhale, lift the right leg up. Inhale your breath. Exhale, low lunge, step it down. Virabhadrasana 1. Circle those arms up. Exhale, airplane arms. Now here's where we add on. The left arm comes up and it reaches past your ear. The right arm reaches back past the hip. Now reach in opposite direction to your friend. Lift the left arm up like it just pulls you up. Virabhadrasana 2. Open up. Your back foot will just shift open and you'll sink into the knee. Virabhadrasana 1 and 2 legs, they're about the same. Same width, same distance. And then from here, reach apart in opposite directions. Push the right hip forward. Engage the left thigh muscle. Engage the arms. Now relax the shoulders. Draw the ribs and belly in. Grab the floor with your toes. You have 2 to 3 more breaths. Now reach towards your front ear. Exhale, breath. Place the elbow onto the thigh and bring the left arm over your ear so your gaze is up and past the left shoulder. Side angle. To go deeper, the right elbow may straighten out and push the knee back. Most common kind of, I don't want to call it a mistake, but misstep that I'll see here is that we can't get that deep into the knee, so we're here. And then you bend our upper body to get down. Your upper body doesn't move in this one. From here, it tilts. There's no way to bend straight. So what happens is the knee bends more and less. That's the primary action. You sink forward into the knee. If your knee and hip is on fire, you have to come out of it. You cannot fake that stuff. Straighten it out even for a second. Bring your left elbow over your ear and cross a Rita will be next. Bring the hand down to the mat, sweep over, turn the toes in. Your head is bowed and you're between the legs. So I will face you on this one, but just stay where you're at. So your feet are as wide as possible, unless you're very flexible. So super wide, if you're like, oh, I'm very flexible, and I can just touch the floor, then your feet are actually narrow. For my tight friends, your feet are as wide as you can get. Hands are on the floor. Then we try to straighten the legs out. If they're bending, there's a lot of weight in my hands until I can get them to straighten. If your legs are straight, then you can start putting weight into your hands. Maybe you can bow down towards your elbows. And feel free to stay here as we work through abduction. To go even deeper, you may opt to grab the outsides of the feet and then pull your heel back. Pull your heel back or your elbow back towards your shin bone, towards fingers underneath the side edge of your foot and heel. Elbows will pull back and the forehead will come down. That's if you want to go really deep, or any variation if you're familiar with this pose. Now take your last breath. You're going to bring your hands to the floor in front of you. Again, I'm facing the opposite direction. You should have your butt sticking towards me. And then from there, you lift your chest, right? The heels pull in. Your knees can be either bent or straight as you come up to star, all the way up. That's it, star. Warrior two, back to the front. I'm going to turn around now so that you can see. So from star to warrior two. Reverse warrior, drop your hand to support you. Lift the right arm up and then reach back. Take one more breath in and out, stay. On the next inhale, reach back and exhale, frame the foot to high-low push-up, step back. Left side is next. Inhale, breath to upward facing dog, lift your heart. And exhale, breath to downward facing dog. Lift your left leg to the sky, inhale, breath. Exhale, place the foot between the hands into low lunge. Drop the right heel, bend the knee, Virabhadrasana, one circle up. Exhale to airplane arms, pull it back. Now bring the right arm up to the right ear. Pull the left arm back and frame your shoulders. Lift the right arm up, Virabhadrasana 2. Open up the right arm, lift the left. Reach in opposite directions as you sink into the front knee. Push the right knee back, tuck the left butt cheek glute, and then push the chest forward. Relax the shoulders, lengthen the neck, draw the chin over your shoulder, and find your way into breathing now. 3. Okay, so the sword is an arm in the front. You say, that's where I'm going. And as you're reaching in opposite directions, here you're squeezing forward your toes. 2. Exhale, breath side angle. Place the elbow to the thigh, bring the arm up. You might need a small break here. If your thighs are flexible and strong, straightening out isn't so much of a problem pressing back. You'll notice there's a little triangle under my elbow here. Should be one under yours too. If you are moving with your back, that triangle tends to disappear. So you're looking for that, especially if you straighten out the arm. Now this arm is reaching up to the sky. The idea is to get some weight back into the straight leg because it's lunging forward and it can just drop and get heavy there. So you're pulling it back. And then from there, you take 2 more breaths. Remember, you can place the elbow on the thigh. And it's really good to do it for the next position. Bring the arm over the ear to spin to Prasarita. So come on down, turn the toes in the front in, and then bow your head. You're here for 4 breaths. Grab the forward toes, press the knees back, lift the tail, and let the sits bones spread. If the knees are bending, it's not unusual. There's a lot of ligaments and tendons back there, and it's difficult to get those to straighten. So you're going to have to just be patient with yourself. That's all you got. But that's the weapon that you got in your arsenal, patience. Goes a long way in yoga. Halfway lift is next. Bring your hands to the mat if they're not there. Pull the heels in. Knees can be bent or straight. Star all the way up to a star. Warrior 2, open it up. Sink into that knee. Push the right knee back. Reach the arms in opposite directions. Tuck the front glute, the front butt cheek, and get that hip to frame. So that way you don't have too much happening. Sometimes I see everything going too far. And you want that right leg to be kind of pulling up and strong. Then eventually your shoulders stay stacked and you're able to still get deeper into that knee. Reverse warrior, right arm back, left arm up, reach back. 3. Good. Breathe again. In and out. 2. Inhale, breath, reach back, and exhale, frame your foot. Step back to plank, high to low push-up. Elbows in, you can go all the way to your belly again, lift to up dog or cobra, and exhale, breath to downward facing dog. It's time to put it all together now, so let's get ready. Here's our Surya Namaskar Vinyasa V. Inhale, breath, right leg sky. Exhale, breath, low lunge. Inhale, breath, warrior 1, come up. Exhale, breath, airplane arms. Inhale, left arm up. Turn to the back of your mat. Turn, turn, turn. Now warrior 2 to the back of the mat, sinking the left knee. Reach to the back of the mat for side angle, elbow to thigh. Inhale, breath, get ready. Prasarita, spin, and turn your left toes in. Halfway lift, look up, heels in. Star, rise, inhale, left hand. Exhale, breath, warrior 2 to the front. Right toes turn, left heel pushes away. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach up, sink in the knee. Exhale, step back to plank, high to low push-up. Inhale, breath to upward facing dog. And exhale, breath to downward facing dog. Inhale, breath, left leg sky. Exhale to low lunge. Warrior 1, drop the heels, circle up. Exhale, airplane arms, pull back. Right arm up to warrior 2 to the back. Take a hard right. Inhale, reach the back of the mat to exhale, side angle. Left arm down to the mat, Prasarita. Turn the toes in and bow. Inhale, lift to halfway, heels look up. Star, pull yourself up. Exhale to warrior 2 to the front. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach back. Exhale, high to low, push up to the mat. We're going to do that again. Inhale, breath, right leg sky. Exhale, breath, low lunge. Inhale, breath, warrior one. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, left arm up to exhale, warrior two back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, circle. Exhale, cross-arena. Inhale, half lift toes out and rise, come up. Exhale to warrior two front. Inhale, reverse warrior reach. Exhale, high to low, push up home. Last and final side, get ready. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg sky. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, right arm up to exhale, warrior two back. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, spin down. Exhale, cross arena. Inhale, lift and rise to star. Exhale, warrior two to the front. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach back. And exhale, high to low, push up home. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Friends, please take 3 deep breaths in your down dog. We're going to come down to the mat for 2 minutes and then we go back. So one more breath. Now from here, let's slowly drop to our knees, open the knees and the feet, and make sure the tops of the feet are on the floor. They're not out to the side like that. They're right down on the top of the feet. Then walk back. If you have a block or a towel or a pillow, you might have to sit on it. I don't, but I'm not in excruciating pain here. But I've been in excruciating pain here. So I know what it feels like very well. Not good. So it does show you the way. Pain in yoga is showing you, hey, this is that thing I've been trying to tell you about all those times and you keep ignoring me. And you think it'll go away. Yeah, it's not just because you're getting old. It has nothing to do with that. We've got this thing. That is your pain. Your pain is your teacher. And your cells and your muscle fibers, they don't understand age. You can replenish these cells and you can fight aging like crazy. And you can succumb and you can just let the breakdown happen. But really that's what's happening. It's just the body is breaking down. When you're young, we all were younger, we've all been younger. You had just more natural energy and mobility. And those things are gonna just slowly slow down. I mean, after the age of 30, we stop producing a lot of the synovial fluid that goes in the joints. So these kind of circling motions that we do help to produce that. And that's what keeps the oil in those joints, that keeps things operating. People that have energies, with a lot of air energy, maybe a lot of fire energy. So one person's going to be more oily in nature. So your joints will be more pliable. Other person's going to be very dry. And their joints are going to be more crackly and brittle. And that really can take its toll on aging in the joints. So we need to really introduce that energy in. So it's not really about age as much as it is energy. And then use and non-use. So if you're all the way on your back, some of you know this pose and you made it all the way back. So we're going to come up now. So as you make your way up, we should all be back together. If you're on a block or if you're sitting on a towel or whatever, you're going to move it away as we come to tabletop. Now lightly tap your feet and see if you can get your legs to return back. This moves blood into the joints of your lower body, your ankles, knees, and hips. And it does it very quickly as we're going to be moving into a longer hold here for a pose. I'm going to take my block and I'm placing it at the top of the mat because that's where you'll need it. Tuck your toes and push back to downward facing dog. And when you get there, just take a couple breaths here and just kind of scan your body. Think about the words I said. Your pain is your teacher. And when you scan your body, ask yourself where your teaching moments are. So just kind of looking at it with a little bit of different perspective. So now as you find your way back into downward facing dog here, take another breath. On the next inhale, lift the right leg towards the sky. And as you exhale, place the foot between the hands again. Warrior one is next. Drop your left heel. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up, Virabhadrasana 1. Bring the hands to your prayer over your head, then bring your hands to your heart, elbows tall, and now hinge forward. Revolved warrior 1. Bring the left elbow outside the right knee and the right elbow to the sky. If this hurts your knee, just bring the back heel off the floor. If you can stay, you'll try to go deeper. If you need to bring your hands to the floor, you can. Or you can also go back into Virabhadrasana 1. Now, bring your right hip back and your left hip forward. Squeeze the thighs together here. We've got 4 more breaths. Eventually, your right hand will push harder into the left and it will end right in the center of the chest. And you'll get the maximum stretch through the thoracic spine here. Got 2 more breaths. Stay calm. Now, on the next exhale, release your hands to the floor and just kind of pause here for a second. I need to push my left heel back a smidge. So your left hip is coming forward. Now, with that left hip forward, you can adjust that back foot like I did. Bring your block right outside your right baby toe. And then see if you can place your left hand onto that block. This block can get taller. The idea is we want to get both hands on the block. We want that front leg to be straight. So wherever that is for you. Once that front leg is straight, that right hip is back, your left hand stays on the block. The right hand goes to the right hip and it kind of pulls that hip back. Then we twist the thoracic spine again, the right shoulder stacks over left, and then bring that right arm up 1 more time. Press the block away with the left hand to let that right arm ripple up. Squeeze the thighs together as you grab the floor with your toes. Your chin is touching your right shoulder in final position, and your legs are straight with the twist. 4 more breaths, stay calm. Keep squeezing the thighs together as you grab the floor with the toes. You've got 2 more breaths. Now listen for the change. You're going to slowly release the right hand back to the block. Now, as you bend your right knee, lift your left heel up. Then step your left leg back so you're in low lunge. Whew, I'm going to inch my right foot over a little bit so you can see. Now your hands are framing your foot. Your right leg's a little tired, and it's okay. We're going to give it a little bit more before we're done that. So either stay here, and if you get in trouble, just drop your knee and go to half splits. If you're going on with me, bring your hands to your hip. This is called toppling tree. Once your hands come up, you interlace them together, you shift the weight into the right leg, and you try to lift the left leg off the floor. The goal is keeping your right leg bent and stable as your left leg goes higher and higher. So notice my belly, it's almost on my thigh. So this is what I see, and it's okay. This is a toppling tree as well with the leg straight. It's just a different one. This one, I want your thigh to work, so your quadricep, not your hamstring. So by bending the knee, you go down. Then the arms would come up as you point the toe. You're here for 3 more breaths. 2. Now bring the feet together and bring your arms back over your head with your belly down. Take 1 more breath. Circle the hands down to the mat and up towards the sky chair pose. Woo! Exhale, airplane arms, go deeper. Inhale, arms come up, stay deep. 1 more time. Exhale, airplane arms, you got this. Let's get some blood moving. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, forward. Now place the weight into your hands. Lift your left leg up. Float it to the back of your mat and place the left palm or fingertips on the floor. Bring the right arm up towards the sky. Place the right hand against your lower back. Suck in the belly and try to lift yourself up. So now the back heel is lifted and we're in a twisted crescent, sinking deeper into the knee. This left arm can go up if you're adding on, and the right arm can slide back for leverage in this exalted back bend. 3. Stay calm, breathe. 2. Sink in that front knee, let the body shake. Now take 1 more breath, and we're going to turn towards our left. Your left heel will come down for Virabhadrasana 2. Beautiful. Now, reach forward to side angle. Use the elbow to the top. Now, I'm going to place my left hand on my hip. I'm going to find my block, place it behind my foot again. Same thing. Place the right hand on the block until that right leg can straighten out. So use a higher block, more blocks, whatever you need to get that leg to straighten. If it's not straightening, feel free to stay here. Left shoulder should pull back, right one forward. And then from there, that left arm comes to the side. Triangle. So if you don't need a block, you could bring your fingers on the floor, but the right leg is straight all the way up to palm flat. But the most common mistake I see in this one, because I did it forever, because it's so stinking hard to get this pose, is if you're feeling it in your right glute, you're not in the pose at all right. Wah, wah, wah. And trust me, I've been not in it right a lot. So this one was a tricky little sucker because you're supposed to be in your inner thigh. So if you're back here on that glute, then you shifted your shoulder forward. Best thing you can do is slide your hand up to your knee, bring your right shoulder and hip forward. And then only slide it down as much as you can keep your chin in front of your left shoulder. And then when you feel like you get your maximum stretch, bring the arm up. Grab the floor with the toes. The hand will go behind the leg, if anything, for 3 more breaths. So stay calm. 2. To move out of the pose, take your final breath and bend your right knee. Reverse warrior. Bring the left arm behind you and bring the right arm up. You can bend the elbow if you'd like to try archer's arms where the fingers come together, or simply stay in your reverse warrior for any layer. Let's breathe down for 3. Sink deeper in the right knee for 2. And now exhale, you did it. Step back to high-low push-up. All right, friends, left side is next. So we're gonna come into up dog or an easy up dog, which I'm doing with my knees down, and then tabletop. Walk your knees up to the backs of the wrists, and then I'm gonna sit between them one more time. Those are big poses, so I'd like to give you a little bit of stewing time here to get the hips to recover a bit. So we're sitting back onto the hips. You might need to use a towel, a block, your fingers as props if it's too much. You may be advancing if your butt is on the floor to your elbows, and you may be advancing to your shoulder blades. From here, your final position is grabbing opposite elbows or extending the arms with your knees touching. Wherever you find yourself, let's return back towards your breath as we bring that breathing. Now, bring your hands back if you're on the floor. Use your elbows to help you lift, and now let's come back up into that tabletop. All right, friends, once you get to your tabletop, lightly tap your feet. We're almost done. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Block is at the top of the mat, the left side of the mat. Inhale, breath, bring your left leg to the sky. Exhale, breath, step it through. Drop your back heel, Virabhadrasana 1, frame your hips. Reach to the sky. Bring your hands to your heart, hinge forward. Exhale, revolve, Virabhadrasana 1, right arm outside the left knee. You might have to help it out. If you get in trouble, lift your heel up, drop the knee. There's a lot of places you can go as you build up resistance into this pose. Shoulders are back, hands are at heart center, and we're twisting now. Let's breathe 5. 4. 3. 2. Now on your final breath, bring your hands to the floor. Good. And now I'm going to straighten that leg out. For me, I need to move my right heel forward as we're sliding back, and then push my heel back so that right hip comes down and forward. Your heel needs to be grounded. So if it's up, you've stepped back too far, you're just going to step up. It's okay. Then once you get it grounded, just like in that pyramid, you're framing your hips down. Bring the block to the left side of your foot, any height. Maybe you need more than one block. Get the leg to straighten. Place both hands on it. Make sure both legs are straight. The left hip is back and the right hip is forward. Stay here. This is hard enough to layer on left hand to hip. Stay here or twist the left shoulder up. Stay there or lift the arm up. And then we're in revolved triangle. Left hip back, right hip forward. Right arm strong, left arm strong. Thighs squeeze together, toes grabbing floor. Gaze towards left shoulder, pass the fingers south. 3. 2. Now slowly bring that left hand down. Bend the left knee. Woo! Step the right leg back. Now bring that left arm to the sky. Don't do that. Bring the left hand to the floor. I'm so glad I looked at my notes. We're exactly where I need to be. We're in low lunge. Hands are going to come up to your tail. Interlace opposite thumb out. Shift your weight forward. Toppling tree. Right leg comes up. Arms 2 if you can. 5. Stay calm. 3, 4, 3. Wipe out, just get back in 2. Now get ready. Feet together, arms over your head. Good. Whew. 4, 3, 2, and now 1. Let the arms sweep down towards your tail, and here we go. Circle them up, chair, airplane arms, chair, airplane arms, chair, airplane arms, Tadasana, up, and forward fold. Weight in the hands. Right leg up, low lunge float back. Now, place the right palm. I would go fingertips, pardon me, and then bring your left hand to your tail. This will give you the extra support you need. Now, once you're on the fingertips, pull yourself up. Push into your back to get your tail to move forward and your left knee to bend. Pull the right hip up, squeeze the thighs together, twist the left shoulder back. Exalted if you wish, arm comes up, left arm goes back, reach and in. Pull. 3, left shoulder back, right goes up. 2. So this is an illusion. You are never in danger. Turn to your right goes there. Lift the left arm up. Virabhadrasana 2. All right, breathe. Here you are. Inhale, reach forward. Now exhale to that side angle. Right arms up. We need our block one more time, so I'm going to place it behind my foot and place my hand onto it. Seeing if we can get that leg to straighten. My right hip is back, my left hip is forward, bottom hip is forward. And then from there, you either stay put or you go a little deeper, and you adjust up, and you go a little deeper, and then the left shoulder and pushes forward with that hip. The right hip and right shoulder is back. Most people are actually here. That's I've seen most people in yoga are here, even the flexible ones. This is a difficult one to grasp. It took me a long time, like years. And then as the fingers slide down and that inner thigh starts to get more responsive, you can move it towards the floor. And then can you see the triangle in this? And let's breathe out for another 3. 2. And just bend the front knee. Let your back arm drop and let it go behind your back if you'd like. And bring that left arm up into a reverse forward. Feel free to bend the elbows and see if they'll come together for archer's arms. If not, just leave any arms up any way you want. Sink into the knee, drop your bottom ribs up. 3, 2. Now frame your foot on 1. Step back to plank for chaturanga. Inhale, hold your up dog into an easy up dog, dropping the knees to the mat here. Stay for 3, 2. Now come back to tabletop, same pose, knees open, feet open. You should be able to get a little closer or at least a little more comfortably to the earth. This is called reclined hero pose. It's also called fixed firm in vinyasa and hatha. And as you're here, you're waiting for your butt to get on the floor. And if your ankle is mad at you, it's from an old rollout, an old ankle injury. It's super common. The cool thing about this, I had a huge injury teaching step aerobics. I was lunging at Mach speed. I think I was going 140 miles an hour, doing lunges off of a 4-foot step. I was 20. Crazy. And when I lunged back, my whole foot turned. My ankle bone hit the floor. And my foot was toast. Keep standing and just distracting me. I hobbled around and I finished the class. For those of you that know, I finished the class. And then my whole leg turned black and blue. I was on crutches for 2 months. The doctor said you'd been better off if you broke it. It's a horrible sprain. And many of you have been in crutches, that's a nightmare. But it was gone. Eventually I was able to air splint, and eventually I was walking, and eventually I was teaching, and then eventually I forgot all about it. And I went to yoga. And as soon as I went back, it was like someone was putting a knife in my leg. It was the most excruciating pain ever, and it was all that scar tissue. And I'm going to keep you a little longer and tell you what happens at the end of the story, because if you have scar tissue in your body, it's going to prevent energy from getting through, blood and energy. And when that happens, then death is going to occur, and that's exactly what's happening. So usually the process of death means arthritic symptoms next. So it can lead to arthritis. Another thing that can also mimic rheumatoid arthritis is inflammatory foods off of your dosha. So you could have rheumatoid arthritis, but the doctor is indistinguishable from something that you're eating in your diet. So that's why I think holistics is important, because if you are like, I have rheumatoid arthritis, wouldn't you want to know if it was your food first before taking medicine? So my thinking is, well, if you need the medicine, of course, but wouldn't you rather see if it's something else before I'm taking medicine for something I'm consuming? Because you're never going to get rid of the cause of why you're getting too much air in those joints. So you'll forever have too much air in your joints, and you're going to slowly lead to a shorter lifespan somewhere, a big injury somewhere, a breakdown somewhere. And we're going to come up out of the pose. And what I want you to notice after being here so long is how quickly will your legs turn back into legs. So if you're on the ground, grab your heels, push your elbows up. We should all be at table. So we'll come up nice and slow. If you have slow circulation because you have scar tissue, you've got an old injury or something, it takes a while for the blood to go back into your feet, for your feet to return. As that improves, it returns very quickly. So just kind of notice which one you want. Now we're going to stand up onto the knees as soon as the feeling is back. And I want you to open your knees a little wider than your hips. So I'm going to go wider. And then I'm going to place my hands onto the small of the back and try to push forward. I go back here to the side to show you it's all about my hips going past the knees. So try to get your hips past the knees. You only need to look back. This is a very deep back bend. So usually what makes us panic is when the throat opens, because we're not truthful in our lives about our real story. And this is the truth chakra, and it's all our communication stuff. So it's a big ball of wax there, a big can of worms. So let's just see what happens when we push the hip forward. Remember, this is an illusion. It's all, this is a throat chakra. So maybe the hands stay where they're at, maybe they come back to the heels. The point is the hips continue to go forward. Now take 4 breaths. To come out, leave one hand on your heel, place one hand on your back. Place the other hand on your back and pause. Push your butt back and your shoulders forward. You might need to use your hands. Cross the ankles and kick your legs out. Slide your hand underneath the glute and take a deep breath in as you bring your arms up over your head. Exhale, breath forward, fold, reach. Hook your big toes. You might need to bend your knees. Just keep your chin up for this variation of our forward fold. So my chin is up and the belly goes to the top. So you don't have to keep your eyes open. There's nothing for you to see here. It's simply drawing towards belly, thigh, chest to knees, crown of the head to the feet. If you're very flexible, final position would be the heels off the floor with the thighs engaged. So just notice how that feels. 3, 2. Now as we roll up on 1, take your right leg and just slide it out. Bend your left knee and bring the foot in for seated twist and take the right foot outside the ankle. I want your right butt grounded if possible, so bring it down and bring the left arm outside the knee. Once it's there, bring your right wrist into your tail, lift and lengthen, go tall. Now as you exhale, twist and look over the right shoulder and bring your knee to your armpit. Try to get your right hip and right foot to ground down to maximize the twist. It should feel like you're wringing out a wet towel. You feel twist, 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 go full. 3, 2, and release. Switch sides. Take your right leg out, left leg outside. My right foot's by my left glute, my left ankle outside right knee. Now bring the right arm up, elbow outside the knee, left wrist into the tail. Inhale, length, grow tall. Exhale, twist, look over left shoulder. Now breathe. I'm going to take a variation just to show you in case anybody goes for the bottom here. The hips are very grounded inside that left. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Place both feet onto your floor. Lift your chest, lift your heart, bring your palms to the sky. Now imagine you're holding onto a beach ball between your knees. From there, you're going to suck in your belly, close your eyes, and set each of the vertebrae down into the mat one at a time. Continue to go down nice and slow. Take your time, please. You're going to go down one at a time. Once you get all the way to your back, squeeze your hands and make fists. Scrunch up your toes. And now squeeze everything as hard as you can for 3. Squeeze as hard as you can for 2. And as you exhale, release. 1. Eyes are closed, Shavasana. Shavasana stands for corpse pose or dead body posture. So as you find your way into your best asana ever, think about what that might look like if you were acting one on TV. Your toes would fall out. Your breath would go in. So deep, but it's just kind of like doesn't move your body. You feel your toes drop into the sides, the thighs and the hips, let go of the tension. And then you can have Try to imagine lying next to a beautiful ocean and the colors of beautiful Caribbean blue. You begin to notice in the trees around you that the birds are also blue. Really pretty blue color. The blue. And you feel that blueness just kind of wrapping around you like a small cloud of smoke surrounds your body. Allow your throat now to soften. You might feel itchy or tingly around the throat. It's very common. Just think about the blue waters, like the blue birds in the trees, and the blue sky that matches them. I was traveling in South Africa and felt very tender in there. And my friend Kim came upon me as I was crying. She asked if I was okay. And I told her it was only the waters of love splashing up my shoulder. Later that day, I found her new tears. And I checked in with her, and she said that the river was now open. We looked into each other and we realized that we all share the same river. It flows beneath us and through us, from one dry heart to the next. We share the same river. And it makes the earth one living thing. The whole of life has a power to soften and open us against our will, to irrigate our spirits. And in those moments, we discover that tears, the water from the thing, are commonly mysterious and clear. We may speak different languages, we may live differently. But when that deep water swells to the surface, it pulls us to each other. We share the same river. And where it enters, we lose our stubbornness. The way fists wear open when held under the stream of it. The deep breath in, and fill you. And at the bottom of the exhale, simply wiggle your fingers. Begin to wiggle your toes. Feel life as it moves through you, and imagine that same life as moving through you. As moving through your neighbors. As moving through people around you. And as you begin to roll your wrists and your ankles, you're comforted in the fact that we are in this together. We've always been. So much like that story I'm reading in our stretch classes, the spiritual journeys along the Over Great. We are each other's ruby slippers. We are all going home. We all guaranteed that. And if you believed in that, what would that really mean for your journey? So as you're starting to now bend the knees, lift the knees to the heart. Pull your knees wide, and then gently roll side to side. For there's beauty in those tears that we share the same way. So from here, either drop off to the side, make it, or just rock forward to back until you can lift yourself up. And join me, please, now with your hands near your heart, anything comfortable. So line up the hands near the heart center on Anahata, the compassion source. And as we draw our hearts forward, we're simply reminded that it's true compassion. As we lift the thumbs now and place them between the eyes, it lines up with Anja, the soothing of our gray. You may have experienced the color of purple. It lines up with this chakra. It's our intuition, it's our cognition, it's that knowing. So as we lift and inhale from this space, may we continue our journey, our inquiry, and our growth into our ignited space, life. And as we exhale humbly to earth, may compassion show us the way. From my heart to yours, namaste, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll be having classes probably daily, so I will be announcing those via just like an announcement or via a picture showing you when our next stream is, so keep your eyes out for those. I just want to mention too, just for those of you that are members of the studio, we're really, really struggling to be here for you guys, and we've created this online video. And we're hoping that our members continue to support us, and they're in a position monetarily to support us with their monthly dues, as quite frankly, that's the only way that I see us being able to sustain our studio. We'll be setting it up too, where for those of you that are watching us complimentary, which I'm offering this out for free as well as to the members. But if you are able to help us monetarily, we're going to be setting up a place where you can do a donation perhaps for the classes, or maybe just something that you can do to help us. But that's what we're going to hope to do to keep our studio open. As everybody's faced with these same times, well, I guess, it's a bit uncertain, but we're throwing it up to the universe and to our members, and we'll be able to dictate how hard yoga is able to continue. And I just want to thank you all for your continued support and checking with these classes. And I also want to say, please share it. I mean, the one thing that I have, the one thing I can give you is my heart. That is it. that's what I've got, and I got it for you. And it's in the form of these classes. It's been my connection to the universe, to you. It's what bridges us, and it reminds us that we are of the same river. So please invite everybody in. Nobody needs to pay a cent. If you can help, great. But for now, let's just let the world well up in compassion and love and communion. And I'll be putting on there too, if you're still with me, there's going to be a massive meditation that's going worldwide on the 4th. So 4/4. So the details will be on my website as well as on the Facebook page and Instagrams and things like that. So make sure you're well connected with us on social media. And I hope that you can take part in this worldwide meditation, because collectively our energy together, I think, will be the biggest thing. And it will be collectively what we can do and what we can do to help ourselves and each other. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I love you guys very much. And when you do any of these classes, please leave us a message and then spread the love. Send it out to your friends on your social media. Get them part of our group and get them onto these classes as well. All right, you guys, much love to you until we meet again. Namaste, you guys. I'll be coming up and turning these suckers off. So it's great to have you guys with me. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Hi, Sheila. I miss you. Hi, Jen. I miss you. I love you guys so much. And thank you for showing up here. I can't tell you how much it means to me just to see your name when I look up here to see your guys' names there. I mean, it just absolutely means the world to me. So thank you so much. Love, much peace and love. Peace out. Peace and love. Peace and love. I love you guys. And until our next class. Peace and love. I love you guys until our next class.